Right, hello everyone. Welcome to match one of a last 16. This is going to be Jacek playing their Orcs versus Spartakus playing their Lizardmen. Going down the list, this is the third one of the 8 parts of the bracket. I'll just put the bracket up for you now. So there we go. That's the bracket. Now this is a pretty rough matchup in terms of racial matchup here. We've got Orcs versus Lizardmen. NAF style tabletop. For those of you not aware, this pretty much favours the Lizardmen quite considerably. So if you're the Orcs, this is hard work. Now, what that doesn't consider is an overtime type game where potentially, depending on how you've built the Orcs, you might actually have a bit of an advantage because you might have the firepower to cause enough damage to the Lizardmen that their lower reroll count and potentially they're only 11 players might actually come into play. But in a typical game, stopping Lizardmen with Orcs is really hard. What is interesting here is this is a non-standard Lizard build. Normally you would just go 6 block and that is considered the optimal or the strongest build. The Lizardmen coach here has got 2 guard pieces and a tackle piece. So with only a couple of block, this is a little bit high rolly. I'm just going to pause it for a second so we can look at the two teams. The Orc team is, wow, 4 guard big uns, a tackle blitzer, a leader thrower, a troll, and that's it. Wowzers. Yeah, I suppose you spent four skills there, you spent the 5th skill there, 6th skill there. Again, this sort of deviates from what would traditionally be on the tabletop variant of Orcs. Typically, you often actually get 7 skills, but if you 6 or the 7 skills that you get, you normally put 2 block big uns, 2 guard big uns, and then put 2 skills on the blitzers, leaving the thrower naked. The 2 blitzer skills are then, if you get 3, you normally have a tackle, a mighty blow, and a guard or a frenzy. That's your 7th skill is your rotational skill. And also the build here is a little bit different to what you might see at a standard NAF style tabletop event, where you typically would see no troll, and because you drop the troll, you then get an extra 50k, and that gives you the ability to buy the reroll and the 3 rerolls and an apothecary. And so Jacek has had to get around that because he spent a skill here to put a skill on the thrower to give him leader. So he's effectively he spent more money on roster building and then buffed it by putting a skill in. So he's only playing 5 skill Orcs rather than 6 skill Orcs, but his roster is more filled out. Now, against some teams, a troll is really good. So against Lizardmen, I think a troll is pretty good. You can stick it on a Saurus and just trade that out. That's pretty nice. Then you've got 4 big uns for 5 Saurus. If you can trade against the Crocs, that's even better. And then you can try and chase around the little things and you might be able to get something. So in this matchup, that's quite nice. But both builds being off meta is quite interesting. And they clearly both know what they're doing. They've got through to the last 16. So we'll watch this. Quite lucky with the kick there, but it's only gone, the throw is really slow and it's managed to get underneath the ball, which is nice. Let's see how this plays out. I do favour the Lizardmen in this. Now, I suppose watching the replays, I know what happens, but traditionally the Lizard people are favourites. I think here, I think you try and go for value, and I think you end up blitzing with the Crocs. The Crocs. Don't blitz with the Crocs. It's not yours. Wait, what? Yes. He needs a friend. Oh dear. And that's turn. Okay. Now the strategy from the Lizard point of view. I wonder what the default colours they're playing in. Oh well, we'll look at. Oh, that's quite nice actually. We'll look at them in their default colours. The strategy for the Lizard people is broadly to try and bully, and the skill is how you connect the 2 types of players on your team. So how do you keep the skinks relevant? Don't run them off and stand them way back here. How do you keep them relevant while maintaining a big strength 4 IV10 plus wall? And the Orcs need to somehow sort of pick their way through it and ideally to do some damage. There we go. Brought the troll back in again. And you don't want to be trading hits here. Not really. Certainly not in the first couple of turns. Now, what is interesting is these guys don't. That'll be an instant apothecary, I think. Yep. Instant Apothecary brings him back. Boom. And there we go, lack of block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Means a 5+ for 2 die on the ball. Probably not taking that Spartacus. No, I wonder how many times I'm going to say that. See, this is dangerous, right? If you start getting into this sort of area where you're just standing up, oh dear, where you're just standing up Sauri to get punched in the Sauri, you're going to get yourself into a world of bother. 3D. I like the 3D blitz here first, because you know that the ball is going probably the. Oh no. I like the 3D first. From an ordering perspective, right? Because we know we're doing this, and it's also critical that we don't mess it up. Okay, well, that's putting a crimp on this. We're not at the point where I would say that the drive is ruined, but I do think we're at the point where we would start to pay attention to the drive now and say, right, another dinosaur to leave the field. And I would personally be actively concerned now. I also think that the Orcs probably want to start motoring down the field, because unlike traditional teams, moving an Orc team down the field against a big wall of strength is really difficult. So you want to start taking the space when you can. Alright, the Dinosaurus is getting in the way. The advantage, I suppose, of having the guard, although these pieces are weak and vulnerable to getting smushed in the face, is the ability for them to be able to step in and provide assists. It's nice. I'm looking at this box here and thinking about what we can possibly do here, although I think... Oh. I don't think there's a surf on the table. So we can... Let's just say for a second we block here. We push the troll into contact, let's say. And we can push the dinosaur against the edge of the field. It's all wonderful, but does it help us? I don't think so. No, I don't think it does. But I don't hate doubling down here. This is fine. Can't get through the gap. You can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot stand against the side of the field, and you can't make a double go for it. So I think I'd take the extra square here. I'd stand there. I would have taken the free square, because they're so slow. You are thinking about how on earth do you get every single square out of these throwers. I am always, when I'm playing Orcs, thinking about how I'm able to manipulate this to get... If I can get 5 squares, I'm taking 5 squares. And it matters. I'm not thinking about, oh, there's 4 squares on the table. Right, where's that 5th square? The Dinosauruses really are in a bit of trouble here. This happened to me in my round of 32 game, where a Dinosaurus team stood up at the edge of the field and we were able to push a few things into the crowd. I do think that there is, well, I not even think, that Dinosaurus is 1,000,000% surfable. When we see the end of this turn, we'll pause it and we'll look at this. So it's now the start of turn 5 for the Orcs, and if we pause here, I know we now know the outcome of this block, but if we fill in that square there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, right, we need to move the thrower, fine. Thrower can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say, in fact, let's say the thrower goes there, right? Thrower's there. So he's out of the way, he's walked forward 4. I know we were normally looking for the 5th, but 4 at this point is fine. We can then push. Oh, you end up pushing there. No, that's no good. Push, that's no good. Never mind. In that case, I think I'm running, since there's no chain push to bounce this into this and push this here, then I am looking to try and walk into the centre, especially on turn 5. So, okay, so we blocked here. We blitz. I'd take the POW because I know we're going to try and move into the middle. Blitzing here. That's a touch dangerous. That was a 1D on the ball. And then we're going to have to pull these through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we've got to build there, haven't we? So we've only gained a square of forward momentum, but what we have done, I say we, the Orcs, is they've now threatened to run this way. So they've now got this open diagonal that they can attack through, which I think is great. I would 100% not activate here. It was a shot in the dark pow, fine. And that gives him a blitzer, which then can become a support here. Yeah, nice non-activation. That troll, if that troll just sits there for the rest of the half, fucking brilliant. Right. The lizard man reply, we just flip the table round and look at it from the lizard point of view. We know that the blitz is going to be coming in here, but I think the Orcs are going to have just a little bit too much for them overall. The only way that that's probably not the blitz, or that's not the blitz. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the base. Okay, stands up. Blitzes with a blitz to push out the way, preferably actually open here, blitz here. We want to be as far forward as possible this turn if you're playing as Orcs. I say we. I really like playing Orcs, so it's all a bit of a bit of catharsis playing this. I love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we can take the full yardage. Why are we making go for it? We're only going to stand there. Oh, he's going to make go for it with a ball carrier. Oh no. I think that's too aggressive. I don't think you need to do it. But I just don't. I think that aggression's not warranted. That's clever. We can follow up here. This guy could stand. Okay. This guy can stand, this guy can block. Doesn't open up a diagonal for the ball, but it does help him clear a few Orcs off. And if you can force the Orcs in on turn 7, if he forces somehow the Orcs in on turn 7, that for me, that's a dangerous non-apo. That's 25%. You don't get that Black Orc. It's 25% to be dead. It's, you know, things die on 25%s. I think I like the diagonal blitz there. Push the dinosaur away. I definitely like to put the tackle guy in here. Now, at this point, I think you can activate... Oh, dear. Yeah, at this point, I would activate this roll here, and I definitely wouldn't dodge that away. Once I'd failed that, you just have to stay put. And the Dinosauruses know that they're not going to shove you in now, so the pressure here has got to be 1, 2, 3, blitz. Yeah. And if this is a removal, the Orcs are going to be in a real pile of problems. Let's... Right. How on earth did they get in this situation? Right. It's turn 8. You're faced with this. It's 2 dice uphill to score, so it's 30% to not score. You have got to reroll. No, it's not 30% to not score. Jesus. Well, you just have to make the 4+ dodge. You have to make the 4+ dodge here. There is no universe that fixes this. You could do 3+, 3+, but with 2 rerolls, I would be considering 3+ with a reroll, 3+ with a reroll, because what I would do here with 2 rerolls is I'd probably dodge here, and then blitz and push that skink there, then block here, either killing the skink or pushing it into the crowd, and then it opens that square up, and then I can score. However, we don't have 2 rerolls, so 3+, 3+ with a team reroll is probably worse than a 4+ with a guaranteed reroll. This is unhelpful. So how did they get here? Right, let's go back to turn 6, because I think it all went horribly wrong in turn 6. This is the board state situation. Right, fine here. They're 2 players ahead. They've got no removals suffered. They've killed a skink and a dinosaur. They know that they can clear this, and they don't need to advance too far, right? The location that they probably want to be in is connected in here. We look at turn 7 and look at where they actually were. They were here, and their team has become quite spread out. So there's a lot back here. And I commented at the time and said, yes, I think you can activate this. The problem is this guy can't get round. So by being so far forward, we have now got a slight problem where, although we're material ahead, right? We're players up 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, and you can ignore that. So in fact, we've spent 5 and we're 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're only 1 up. And the one that they've got 2 strength 4 pieces. We've only got 1 strength 4 piece. The moment they trade that out with a strength 4 into a strength 4, they do have some mobile skinks that can move around. And I think that the Orc offense is overcommit. Now I am curious to see what happens, but if this doesn't score, this is going to be devastating. And I would say that I think it's because they went too far forward too quickly. Okay, well, he's got paid. He should have stood there, right? That's a free serve. What did he roll? What did he roll? Right. Yeah, it would have been a KO. So, because that would have been an injury roll. So, would have got a KO. Okay. These two skinks are out. The dinosaurs have got how many? 3 skinks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They must be players. 12-player roster. This is not an anti-1 turn. This is a setup as though it's starting the second half, and our opponent is playing into a 1 turn. So we've got the chain push to get the skink in. This is. I haven't considered what the hell is going on. Oh dear, Jacek, that's unfortunate. So he gets the first push, which is what he needs. He's now got 3 dice on the second push, so the skink is now 1 away. He needs the 4+ with a reroll. Doesn't make it. Where does the ball scatter back? Does he catch it? He does not. Ball is dead. Drive is over. That was very unlucky. 4+ with a reroll. When the Orcs hit 3+, 3+. Oh, Orcs out. What did we lose? Oh, it's the big un. It's the big un, isn't it? The non-appoed big un. I said it was 25% to get that back. No. Now, if this is match 1 of the series, if I'm playing as the Lizard coach here, I know I conceded. I know I was able to pressure the Orcs, and I had what was almost a 2-turn or a defensive touchdown opportunity. I think I'd be thinking, we can play for the draw here. Draw's fine. And we can move this into the second game. Because I think that already just in that 1 half, I think if I'm Spartacus, no, if I'm Spartacus, I would be able to get a result done and dusted in the main half, I think. Vicious Ref takes down a big un, but does not kick it out. You can protect these. If you make an L shape here and you put strength 4 in the corner, you can put the strength 3s here and here, and that blitz doesn't happen. 4, 5, 6, 7. Gets in the 3D, and you can follow this and protect his own dinosaur. And the ones, if I'm the Orcs, the ones I want to be targeting here are the ones without block. So I'm definitely blitzing. I know it's not got a lot of value in this game because there's nothing with dodge on the opponent team, but that's my blitz target this turn. And it is tricky because there is nothing. that's not his blitz target, clearly. There's nothing to say that should be the blitz target, but I like the idea of when we roll a both down, look, we get the armor break. Or we get the chance of an armor break. So, Jacek just waiting for his stuns to return. Wow, that's aggressive. What? Spartakus playing this as though he's going to try and win it in overtime, in regular time. Jesus. Jesus. I mean, this is wow. Wowzers. I mean, I suppose he doesn't have to complete this, but this is mega aggressive. He's going to get a 3D on the poor blitzer. 3D saves him. I think I would probably have preferred the Crocs to have just stepped in and the dinosaur do the blitz. Because if Dino Town does the blitz, then you're guaranteeing it, and the Crocs is taking out 3 pieces, and it's going to be okay for next turn. Now, I'm going to watch this from the offensive point of view, which is the dinosaurs. Little unfortunate not to find the 75% knockdown there. The follow is interesting. And that move is saying, hey, don't come back round the top. But really, do we want that? I suppose we do want the dinosaurs to keep going this way, right? You then removing where the Orcs are, their pain point for the Orcs, which is when they are slow and they get pulled around. You do want that. So I suppose that's actually quite a good move, right? And we'll find out whether Spartakus is playing for the win here, and probably in this turn, because if he pushes, then he'll have no choice but to score. If he doubles back, which is what he is appearing to do, or he's certainly not moving. Yeah. Interesting. That's really interesting. He's choosing to stay. Oh dear. Lack of block. 1 reroll. And if he doesn't follow, he's got 2D here. He should be able to follow and get off that guy. Turn. Right. From the Orcs' perspective, they can probably just stand up and base in again. They're 1-0 up, so the worst they can probably do in this game is get a draw. And I would start blitzing this guy. I want to be hitting. Yep. I want to be hitting. Chaining the Crocs, maybe? Crocs into an extra blocks. Nice. Thrower can stand just there. I see. For me, the thrower stands there. It's protected, broadly. Yeah, the thrower can just stand there. We know he's not going to try. He's not going to try. And if he does try it, that's fine. This switch might be too soon. Bait, because it's the bait and the switch. The ball needs to go in here somewhere, I suppose. That's a long way back. Right. So now the Orcs can confirm that the only results that are going to happen now are the dinosaurs are trying to score on turn 16, or you've got to stop them. That's it. There's only 2 results that are going to happen. 1-1, 0-1. So, at that point, you need to decide what you're going to do in terms of pressuring. Are you going to sit and wait for the next 2 or 3 turns and then make sure that you've got a pair of blitzers? Yeah, the tackle guy has to be in the middle of the field at this point, because you know that ultimately this game is going to boil down to, can the tackle blitzer get the ball on a 4 or a 5+, because you're probably not going to get given a straight 3+ shot at the ball. And you're going to need another blitzer probably to cancel out some sort of screen pieces. So we need to be in the middle. Therefore, that tackle blitz is in a great position now, but you need to not let it wobble off in the next couple of turns. It must not get suckered. Right, must not. And if you're the dinosaurs, you want to see that guy and you want to show a bit of leg maybe, and you want to, you know, wobble off over here with a skink that's a complete diversion, and then the ball needs to come this way, or vice versa. This is the last turn when you can just stand there. So we're just looking for, how do we trade hits? $2D block here, 2D block here. Ballers. That's a little bit wide for me. He's going to have to eat that. Right, always with a turnover, the first thing I'm trying to do is, before I do anything, is there some way that I can change something into something to try and get something? I mean, there's enough somethings in there that you would hope that there's a something on the table, but, you know, can we find a 2D on the ball or better? Now, there is a skink there, and there is a downed big un there. If that big un can somehow get into open water there, we have 2D on the ball. We have 1D here, we have a push, but the push is then going to be into one of those 3 squares. So how on earth do we educate, how do we get that to push? Is it possible? If it's not possible, okay, in that case, can we chain push this guy? So the first thing I can see here, we've got this chain push into this, That means that we've now got this guy in this square and this guy in this square. Is that, can we do anything? No, maybe we can't. Maybe we need to try and create a gap to run through, maybe. So 2 dice there. Okay, so we knock that guy down. No, you've got to punch you and you've got to punch you. So, all right, let's say this guy is going to vomit on this guy. This guy could push this here. This guy then blocks that there. I don't think... We need to clear. We know we've got that dice. Step 1 in there. We don't want to commit. The only reason I commit the tackle blitzer is if I can get dice on the ball. Step that in there, that clears that. That could stand up. Once that's cleared, that's 3 dice on that. We should get a push. That's 2 dice there. That's now here. If it's a POW, we've got 3 plus for 2 die on the ball. So I'd be chancing my arm a little bit to see what happens here. But I don't think there is going to be the route through that he needs. No. No. There's now not the route through. And those are the turns that you want to be saving your rerolls for. That must not move. Must not move. Oh dear. Oh no! It's been suckered in. So now we've got him out inside a tram line. Lizardmen is absolutely wanting to come this way. Equally, he might just be able to potato down here. I think I'm still looking at coming in. So 2 dice here. 2 dice blitz. This is okay. Painful, it's not a POW. $2D there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I actually quite like this skink being there, right? Oh, it's not going to get a chance to do it. Okay. Never mind. Right. That guy must move. There's no clever chain pushing here. Oh, there is. There is. Sorry. Yes, there is. We should have pushed into our big one, who could have gone and stood there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 dice on the ball. So there was a chain push to push the big one out, and that gets you 2 dice on the ball. Yeah. Go for it, but it was 2 dice on the ball. And then and at that point, you take the both downs, you take the POWs, so it was a 55% to hit it. Yeah, I take that. I would possibly go as far as to dare to comment that might have was a mistake, because of where it is in the turn sequencing. That's nice. I don't like the block, but I do like the support, because if that block is a POW, is a both down, we have problems. The Dinosauruses are going to be reduced to a sideline cage. On Earth. How on earth do they get through? They don't. Oh, you're just in range of this side of the field. He's going to stand him there, isn't he? Going to stand him there. See, I think that guy could go and stand there, right? Stands there, and then you can put the ball there. Being here, it doesn't make a massive difference, but I think it might make just enough. And the game exactly has come down to that critical turn, right? This is now, can you find the solution to get a dodge in on here? And it has exactly come down to, as I said 5 minutes ago, we need to cancel the assist on this, and then we need to blitz this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 plus dodge for 2 dice on the ball, or 5 plus dodge for 1 dice on the ball if we can't cancel that. The only other question then is, can we chain push something around the top and push this blitzer twice into here? Now, we now can go and stand that in there, so we can consider one of these 2 squares filled. So let's say we block. Sorry, we'll step this guy in, we'll block with the blitzer, and then the blitzer, this guy, he stands up, we blitz here, we push that into there, into there. Great. Does that give me a second hit? No, because the guy that's there is lying down and it's ours, so we can't chain push the blitzer into that square there. There isn't the second chain, the second element of the chain. So therefore, we don't want to dodge away from tail, we don't want to do anything else. There is nothing else to be done other than, can I make a 5 plus dodge and 1 dice on the ball? And it's 5 plus 2 plus, in fact, so it's 55% with a 2 plus. We've got 2 rerolls. It is the 2 plus with a reroll works 98% of the time. The 5 plus with a reroll works 55% of the time. It's a 55% stop. That's your turn. And that's how the sequencing works in my head in terms of working out whether I'm doing it and how I'm doing anything different. He chooses to not go for the play, and he's going to force a skink dodge past tackle. He needs to put at least 1 more tackle zone on this, otherwise it's a 3 plus blitz, and then a score. Although Spartakus, whether he's real or not, doesn't have a roll. That's a nice tag. He's snaked. So I think if that was a POW, the Crocs could have blocked there. Uh-oh. Oof. Oof! Yeah, and then it's a score. So it's 2-2 without a reroll. 67%, I think. Makes it. So, match number 1 has ended in a 1-1 draw. Jacek not having the better of the engagements there, I don't think. I think if I was going into the second game having played this, being Spartacus, as I am, I think that I would be feeling all right. I think I'd be all right here. There is still a 1 turn. I suppose we should respect the fact that there is a 1 turn, but it is an Orc 1 turn with no Goblin, with movement 6. This is going to be asking quite a lot, if it is indeed possible at all. Spartacus, for all his defensive strategy studying, has not studied the anti-1 turn setup. This is not that. Spartakus, if you're watching, although I'm in the last 8, I am going to suggest that you just string these across the line somewhere. The advantage that the Orcs do have is they have both a high kick, but they also have a thrower, so this is not impossible, although the Orcs didn't even try. Okay, right, well that is match number 1. Let's have a quick look and see if we can pick up the stats. How many blocks were thrown in each direction? Always interested in that stat. I like to win both the touchdowns scored, but I also like to win the blocks thrown. So the Orcs did indeed throw slightly more blocks. With both teams broadly having no mighty blow, then you should see a reasonable parity on removals unless we're hitting skinks, which we were. So, okay, 40 blocks each. That's all right. That is going to open you up occasionally to some variance on either side because you could snowball early. But anyway, that's match 1 done. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a like and subscribe.